Hey there YouTube fans, AC Productions here, and today I'm going to be showing you on how to change out your license plate light. Are you getting tired of every time when you ride, you're just riding, having a good time, all of a sudden you get pulled over and they say, well, you don't have a license plate light, but when they come close to your bike, they can see that your license plate light is on. It's just very dimly lit. Well, today I'm going to be showing you on this other pretty cool LED light. It's called a plasma light, and as you can see, it's a pretty small light, but it's very bright. Alright, so right now it's still in the package. It has this little button to test out lights, so push it down and then you're going to see compared to the original. Now look at that. That little tiny light is super bright, and as you can see compared to the stock light on how much brighter it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to take your stock one and we're going to replace it with this little small one. Okay, tools needed for the job is going to be a handle for your screwdriver, your Phillips screwdriver bit. If you happen to have one of these are come in handy. It is a ratcheting style for these style of bits, which this one's a Phillips. All you have to do is just put it right over here and it goes in, and so this is great for tight spaces. I have all the tools I use for this installation in the links below. Next, some really good scissors. These are made by Milwaukee, and then a glue gun. And also you may need an extra glue stick if you're running low on that, and that's all you're going to need for this installation. Currently the one I have on my bike is called the Vagabond Fender Eliminator. If you're still using your stock Fender, now from this one, as you can see, when you turn around and you look to the back, you're going to have to remove two screws. Now the two screws are located right over here. So you got one right here and then one on the other side. It's kind of a tight fit, but just do your best you can to get your screwdriver. And if anything, you could just use the screwdriver bit and maybe use some pliers to loosen these two screws out. After you take out the two screws from the behind the license plate light, if you notice that the license plate light is not coming out that easy, then what you want to do is look behind the license plate light, and you're going to notice that there's going to be this cable, right? I already had encountered this problem. That's why I'm showing you now. That's why you could see this cable out, but originally it was already all the way tucked inside like this. So what you want to do is you want to undo your passenger seat, and then there's going to be a bunch of cables over here. So from this end, just slightly tug. Look for the wire and then slightly tug on it from this side, and then from the top side you're going to see which cable you're tugging on. So once you find that cable, just start pushing it in more, and from the other side start pulling it out more, enough to take out your license plate light. So as you can see, I already pulled as much as I could. I think that's all I need. So from this side now, just wiggle it out, and this should be enough for you to actually get in to change your light. As you can see, we don't need that much. So at this point, just take out these two screws. Okay, once you remove those two screws, you could just go ahead and pull it out of its plastic housing, and there you go. As you can see, there's the bulb. So now all you need to do is just take the bulb and take it out of its socket. You can put that off to the side. Then next, we're going to grab our housing. So the first thing we're going to do with our housing is we're going to remove this plastic piece, and all you have to do is just slide it off. It just comes off just like that. Now if you guys are still running your stock setup, this is the stock Fender for the Yamaha R3. If you still have this on your bike and you want to do that same thing we just did with the LED to change your stock license plate bulb to an LED, I will show you how. Unfortunately, I don't have this on my bike anymore, but I still can show you the steps to take out your stock bulb to change it to LED. So now in this location, this is where your license plate light is going to be. So if you look underneath, this is what you're going to see on your bike if you still have this setup. Now what you're going to need to do to get to your license plate bulb is you're going to have to take out this whole cover. And by doing so, you need to take out the tabs that are here, the screws here, these two over here, and then these two on this side. Once you remove all the screws and tabs, you could go ahead and you could just pull this plastic off. Okay, so now that you got all the screws off, just go ahead and just take out the plastic. So behind the plastic on your bike, you're going to see all these cables that are going to be tucked over here. So when you look behind this area, you're going to have these two screws that are going to be right over here. So just undo those two screws, and then on the other side you should be able to take out your license plate light, and then everything follows as before with the other setup. Grab our plasma light packaging, and we're going to cut from the top. So you want to make sure when you're taking out this light, make sure you're careful. That's why I say cut from the top, and you can see exactly where all the cables are at, because if you cut from the side over here, you have a risk of actually cutting the cables off. So cut from the top and then just pinch it from here, and then go ahead and just cut from that way. you could see where the wires are and you could cut accordingly and not damage and cut any wires off. Okay, once you cut the package open, when you open it, you're going to notice there's going to be these two 12-volt batteries. Yes, these are 12-volt batteries. These are the smallest 12-volt batteries that we're going to find. And as you can see, you're going to find these other little adapters. Mainly the one we're going to need for this project is going to be this one. This one is the 194 bulb style accessory that we're going to need for this project. As you can see, it has the same look as your stock one. So you can go ahead and put this off to the side. We're not going to need any of these unless you're doing a different project. Alright, so next what we're going to do is, as you can see, it's plugged into this. Just go ahead and unplug it from here and that will disconnect it from the battery. So next, do it carefully and remove the LED that's inside the package. As you can see, it comes with this 3M backing. We're not going to be using that, but you could just keep it there. So that's that. Put off to the side. Okay, so now for these leftover 12-volt batteries. They're actually still pretty good. I would say they're still at 90% of its battery life. So what I like to do, anytime I get these LED packs that have these buttons where you get to test them, I would actually save these little battery packs because you never know when you could use an extra battery pack for a different project. So we're going to be using this adapter, which is the 194 bulb style. This bulb that we took out is a 194. So that's the adapter we're going to be using for this. And then here's your light. This little light is actually going to connect to this little adapter here. And then this part of the 194 adapter is going to connect to your stock plug on your bike. Okay, so next thing we want to do is we're going to take our housing from our license plate light. What we're going to do right now is we're going to put it right around here, I would say. Once you find a spot where you're going to put it, we're going to wrap the cable around and we're just going to kind of tuck it underneath in this little pocket area. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab our little LED and then we're just going to place it on the top, and this is just to see where we're going to be putting our light. So I think right around here would be a nice spot, and there should be a little like spot where we could actually put our cabling. If you're not too sure on where the LED is going to fit or where it's going to be showing, you could just go ahead and put your plastic piece on, just put it back on, and then you're going to see exactly where we should put it. So right around there. So if we were to put the LED, I would say probably around that spot area, right around there. Okay, so now that we know where we're going to have our LED, you could go ahead and remove the glass, and this is where we're going to need our hot glue gun. Okay, now that you have your hot glue and it's already warmed up, now we're going to grab our little light and our adapter, and at this point you could actually put in your connector. So just go ahead and connect the connector. It only goes in one direction. Okay, once you get your connector on, the reason we're putting our connector on is because once we put it into the little housing, it might be a little hard to actually get it on there. So by doing this, you're skipping a step already. Okay, so next, after you already bend the cables over to the other side, try to bend it as much as you can. And once they're bent over, now we're going to grab our glue gun and we're going to glue these arms on the housing. Put a good chunk of glue here and a good chunk of glue up here. All right, once you put the glue, now let's go ahead and let's put our LED on top of it. And once you get it on there, just go ahead and press on it and make sure that all the cables are able to go inside the little pocket of the housing. So just give it a firm press. It shouldn't take that long for it to set. Usually it takes a few seconds. Okay, so now before we put everything back, let's grab the glass, the little plastic glass that goes over, and just go ahead and slide it over to make sure everything fits on there before we go ahead and put it onto the bike. So what we're doing now is we're just making sure that everything still fits perfectly, and as you can see, it still does. Let's see if it was on there. That looks about right. If you're not satisfied on where the placement of the LED is, just go ahead and remove the little plastic lens of the housing, and then you could just take off the LED and move it forward. But I think right about there looks good. If I put my hand over it, you could see it looks about right. It's not going to be hitting anything. So I'm pretty happy of where it's located at the moment. Okay, so now that everything looks good, now we're just going to go ahead and we're going to tuck our wiring of the LED in this little pocket area, and you could just pull on that axis of that glue. Okay, so this is how it should look like. All right, so now let's go over to the bike and connect it. Okay, so now when we go over to the bike, let's just go ahead and get our adapter and then just go ahead and plug it in. We're going to first check to make sure everything's working properly, because you don't want to put everything on and it's not working properly. So by doing this, we're just checking to make sure that the LED is working properly, because if it's not turning on, first thing you want to do if it doesn't turn on is unplug the adapter and then flip it over and plug it back in. And if it's still not working, then maybe you want to check the connectors to make sure that everything's working good there. So let's go over to the bike and we're going to turn on the bike to make sure that the light works properly. Wow, that thing is super bright. Okay, so we know that the light is working properly. And go ahead and turn off the bike. So now we know we have everything connected correctly. So now that we know we have everything connected correctly, I'm just going to leave that there, and we're going to go ahead and we're just going to tuck all those wires neatly inside. We're going to flip it over, and then we're going to put our 2 screws that we took out earlier, and everything should go nice and smooth inside. Once you get everything all closed up, you go ahead and we're going to just go in the reverse order that we did when we took out the light to begin with. We're going to put those 2 small screws back in its spot. Okay, now that we're done putting those 2 small screws, now we're going to put our other screws and we're going to put this right back where we took it off from. And if you see on the top here, we got these 2 holes, or these grommets with these holes on it, and that's going to correspond with these holes from, or these tabs from the license plate light. So these little legs are actually going to go into the hole of that spot over there. At the same time, this little lip area is actually going to tuck in, down and in inside this area over here. So just go ahead and we're going to push our cable from the other side in. Grab your cable from the other side, pull it in gently, make sure you're not too hard on it because you don't want to take the cabling off of the little light. So at this part it may get a little tricky. Just try to do the best you can on getting it back in there. Okay, so after you already have positioned it, now you could just go ahead and grab your 2 screws, and from the other side just screw your license plate light back in. Once you change your stock bulb to the LED, go ahead, put your license plate light back on, and on this side just put the 2 screws back over here, and then once you do that, you could go ahead and place your plastic piece right back. Once you get it right back, now just go in the opposite order. Now put the 2 screws there, screws there, 2 there, 2 here, and 2 over here. Once you do all that, that should be it. And then when you turn on your bike, you're going to have your license plate light shine over here. So those are the only extra steps you're going to need to do if you do still have your stock Fender. Okay, and that's all there is to it, and that's how you change your stock bulb to a plasma LED bulb for your license plate. So let's go ahead and turn the key and let's see how it looks now. Well, there you guys have it. See what a difference compared to that other one. Now you can just enjoy your ride and not have to worry about your license plate light not being properly lit. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, leave any comments below, and thanks for watching.